Well, welcome back to my channel. Today is Tuesday, July the 24th. I had a surprise tonight when I came home from work. I got home, I thought I was done with this Sunday. Took her for about a 20-mile drive. Everything worked just like it should, no problems, didn't overheat, didn't do anything. Well, I got home tonight and noticed underneath of it the water pump's dripping. So, looks like I get to do a water pump today on this old Enovy. That's the problem with dealing with these old cars. You just gotta fix other people's stuff that they didn't take care of. The most hardest thing, this is a really easy job, it really is. The most hardest thing on this job is this fan clutch right here. It's that big boat looking thing. That thing can cause a lot of problems. Now the way I usually do it is I got a little air hammer that usually does the trick. You see I got my sludge-o-matic, pipe wrench, a big old bar, extended bar for it just in case I can hit it. But most of the time you can get it done with just an air hammer. We're gonna see if we can do that today. So you can get on that. Come at an angle. You don't want to come straight at it, but you want to come at some kind of an angle to it. Oh, you saw it move. And that's all you need to do. That's it. That's the hardest part of this whole job. It's getting that pulley off. This fan blade off. Come off there. It's a long-winded thing. There it is. It's off. Now I've already unhooked the negative battery. Now I just got to unbolt this thing right there. Take the heater hose, top radiator hose off. This side's already broke, so somebody's got to wire it in. You see it, and then hook that fuse, the plug in right there for it. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, I got all that out of the way. Comes out real easy. You just kind of pry it around a little bit and it'll come right up. Now the other step here you want to take is this is the water pump pulley. This is the water pump. So while you got the belt on her holding this, if you're using ratchets or wrenches to break it loose, go ahead and leave the belt on, and that'll help give it some tension to help break them loose. But since I use my good old air tools, I don't have to worry about it, but that's just a good point for you guys. Because if not, it will cause you problems trying to get that on and off. Let's see if I can set this up where you get a little bit of an angle of what I'm doing here. Is that gonna set there? Dude, I can't believe that thing's actually gonna set right there. Okay. And then you kind of see what I'm doing here. Another worth note, most cars have a diagnostics on the belt which way it runs. If yours does not, use your cell phone and take a picture of it. It sure will help you along when you're trying to reroute all this. And this right here is your water pump. Can you see down in there? No, you can't see it from that angle. Let me show you a little bit better angle. You see all the water right down there? See how it's good and wet? That's where she's been leaking from. So I can get this to set back up like it was before, because that was kind of cool. I just sat there and showed you the angle I'm working at. Oh, that'll work. I checked around the garages and called to see what price they charge to do a water pump on one of these bad boys. And they told me averages between about $300 to $400 to do this. To me, that's just outrageous. Any more of these shops just want to rip people off. I don't know why, but they do. Now these are little bitty bolts, so they don't take much torque. So I'm not just going to hit with my air ratchet. I'm going to break it loose first. And then when it breaks loose, spin it on out. And don't drop your sockets, because it's always bad trying to find them. And I'm doing this in the yard underneath the shade tree. Because I didn't want to stand out there on that hot asphalt again today. But it's crazy how much stuff they want to charge to do this stuff. All it is bolts and nuts is all it is. All you got to remember, no matter how difficult it looks, it's just bolts and nuts. Don't worry, I got a drain pan down there to catch 90% of that. I mean, I could have drained it out of the radiator first, but I didn't care. I don't know this truck that well, so it was probably a good thing to flush it anyway. Whenever you do a water pump, it's always good to flush them anyway. And if you were standing here, you'd be able to smell it. It kind of smells kind of bad, like burnt. You ever smelled antifreeze leaking into your car? That's what it smells like. And there's the water pump. That's all there is to it. Now I just got to clean all this up real good. I'll be back in a minute. Well, like I said, you want to clean this up real good, get any debris or anything off of it with a water pump set. Now there's different ways you can use that. You can use a scraper, a putty knife, however you feel like you're comfortable doing. I got this little air tool here with a cleaning brush on the end of it, and it'll clean stuff real quick. That quick and that easy. Make sure you got it good and dry. Now it comes with this gasket right here, and they told me you do not have to use silicone on. Well, I'm from old school and I don't believe that. I mean, this is a quick, easy job, but I am not about to tear the back apart because this freaking gasket's leaking, so we will be siliconing it. As you can see, put gray silicone all around that thing. Put it back up on this little perch where it's sitting at. That looking good? And I put silicone all around this thing here. I just line up the gasket. Kind of tap the little gasket down, just kind of press it down just a little bit to make sure it's on there good. That way it doesn't move around on you. And put her back together. It's all about memory, man. Just paying attention where the bolts came from and put the bolts right back in the same holes. That's all it's about. Now, like I said, these are little bitty bolts, so you don't want to just crank these things down because they will snap and break real quick and easy. So I'm just going to use my air tool to snug them up. So all I'm going to do. Kind of jump all around here. Just don't do it in a circle. Kind of jump around. Before you go through here and crank them down, turn this pulley and make sure she's spinning easy. Make sure it ain't binding or anything. Feels pretty good to me. Now I'm just going to get my better and snug. Which one tight? Just kind of jump around in the store pattern and do it. I couldn't tell you what the exact torque is on these. I've never looked them up and don't care to. And after you're done, just go back around them just to make sure. Because it never fails, you always got one that you didn't get all the way tight. Alright, make my way back around here real quick. That out the door. So quick, so easy. And them freaking places want to charge you all crazy prices to do this kind of work. Like the average man has a lot of money when you're working paycheck to paycheck. I do this stuff on the side to make a little extra money, but I don't try to get rich off of it. Never been that way. I know too many people that work for a living, they just ain't got no money. You can't afford to go to a freaking car lot and pay payments on something for the next 3 years on a piece of junk. When I can find these cars like this here, do a little work to them, I always try to sell them, and I always try to get it to where I can at least make $100 back off my money. Gives me a project for a few days, because when I'm sitting at home bored, I get pretty cranky. So I like having projects, and that's why I do these. I got a few people right now that have just been blowing up my phone wanting this truck. So I'm just waiting on the title to get back, but like I said, I ain't gonna give it to them unless everything's right on it. See how things just spinning around? You never get them tight like this. I'm just getting them good and snug for a minute. Oh. Now we got to put the belt back on. And this is where it gets fun. Trying to get these belts to go back like they should, which they never do. There's always some kind of pain in the rear end with them. And there it is. To be honest with you, I've been out here for about 30 minutes now working on this. What's going to take the longest is getting all the air out of the system. Well, now I got to put the fan and the fan shop back in here and weasel it all down through this. So I'll be back with you in a minute. Almost forgot a step. Almost forgot a step. Now the reason why I put the belt back on, because it helps hold this pulley. Now I can get there and crank these bad boys down with this, my air ratchet. Alrighty. Word of advice, when you do this, be careful not to mess that thing up right there where the wires go to it. Do your best not to tear that up. Alright, I'm going to try to set this back in here with the camera up here running so you kind of get an idea what's going on. This thing is kind of a pain in the butt to do, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to probably take me a couple tries to get this thing in and out of here. Or I could get lucky and it fall right in. And I could not get lucky. Just got to figure out what's holding, what ain't holding, and work the problem. Like I've said many times on the other videos, do not force it in. If you force it in, you're going to wish you wouldn't have made that mistake. Alright, like I said, we're probably going to do this a couple different times. Okay, after you get it sitting back in here, this would be a good time to go ahead and put on the fan. See if I can get it turned around here where you guys can get a good view at it. Just get it started. All you got to do, should just spin right back on. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. That's all you got to do. Hold on just a second here. It's got to be perfectly lined up. You start, and of course everything's got to fight you. Come on, baby, start for me. Yeah, it's really, it's got to be right on the money to get that to start. But once it starts, just spin this fan around, and it'll stop turning. You ain't got to worry about tightening it anymore, because as soon as you start it, this pulley here goes that direction, and it'll just jerk it and it'll put it right in place. Alright, let me finish putting the little bolts back in here and tighten it back up, and I'll be with you in a second. There you go. See, it's all back together now, just like it should be. Something else I like when they come up with these hose clamps right here. They are a pain in the butt to do. You got to squeeze them and get them off. But whenever you put them back on, always make sure you'll see the indentions in the hose. Put the grooves right back in the same spot. The reason why I like those so much, because over time, these things will actually keep tension on this. Compared to the old hose clamps, like these here, I just tighten it down. That's as tight as that thing's going to go for now. And eventually the hose swivels up a little bit and this becomes loose. But when the hose does that, this thing here flexes and needs to tighten up even more. They steadily keep pressure on them. But them things are a pain in the butt sometimes to get off and back on. Now plug back in my electronics over here so the fans work like they should be. This thing is done. And another note too is, take the fan after you get it all back together and spin it. Make sure you don't hear it hitting nothing. Don't hear anything. Now I just got to burp the system. We'll get to that here in a minute. Sorry I didn't show you me flushing out the system, but that's already done. I wanted to talk about this other tool I got here. I bought this a while back, right before I quit doing mechanic work full time and for these newer cars, because you got to get all the air out of the system. I mean, you can sit here and steadily keep putting water in there or antifreeze in there, and it just bubbles back out on top of it, and you waste a lot of material. This little funnel system comes here. It hooks up to 90% of the radiators out here in the world. It's got a little plug here you put in here that will stop any water from coming up or down. It's got all these different attachments here that you can hook up to the radiator systems. I love this thing, and I'll show you how it works here in just a minute. Okay, I got it running. You can see the little water bubbles, air bubbles coming up. That's what we want. Those little bit of bubbles right there will vapor lock your truck, your motor, I mean. And when it vapor locks it up, it keeps the thermostat from opening or closing and overheats the vehicle. Now you want to come in here, turn it off air conditioning, and turn it on defroster. Okay, you gotta give me a second because I'm not sure how to work this thing. Let's go over here. That way it runs it through the heater core and everything. See all that's running pretty good. Now, like I was saying earlier, I do this to have a hobby, to make a little extra cash. You know, because if you work a full-time job, you're just not making enough money to pay ends meet. It keeps me from running to the bars and spending money like an idiot. And when I do these cars, before I get rid of them, they will be good cars. I will not, I refuse to give a car to somebody and sell it to them and something be wrong with it. If I know in my heart that car is going to be a junk car, I will eat my money and I will load it right back on the tow truck and I will run it right across the scales and crush it. And trust me, it happens. About every 5th or 10th car, I gotta crush it and lose the money on it. And my girlfriend, or whatever girlfriend I got at the time, they get mad because I just wasted that money. But I just don't want nothing coming back on me. Still getting some bubbles here. Now, a good thing to remember is let this thing run until it gets good and warmed up, about, you know, 10-15 minutes. When the temperature gauge goes up to where it's supposed to be, you can see we're already starting to climb a little bit. When it gets up at normal operating temperature, let it run for another 15-20 minutes. The longer you let it run, the better it is. And if you do a lot of antifreeze work or radiator work, I'd recommend getting this thing right here. I really do. Alrighty, I guess I just about wrap it up. I just wanted to show you folks how easy it was to do that. It's all full. We lay down here. Nothing dripping. So I can say we can mark this off the to-do list. One bit of note of information for you is when you think you got that system, this here, the radiator fluid all burped out of it, and you think you're all good and there's no more air in it, walk away from it. Let it run for another 10-15 minutes and then put it back together. Put the cap on it and top it off. The longer you take, chances are the better it's going to be, trust me. Well, thank you guys. You know what to do. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it all. Look here. Just getting ready to close it out. Look what I got over here. I got me a fan. See if it stands still long enough. I got me a fan, boy. Be out here working on a car and got deer on the property. That's just too cool. Well, thank you. You guys know what to do. Like and subscribe. I'm sorry I didn't notice. I was cleaning things up. See if we can get a look at them. Here's the 2 new babies in the yard. The 2 new babies. There's Mama. And there's the babies. Aren't they just so beautiful? All right, thank you guys.